What's up with my AP family? It's your boy L, APA, coming through with another video. You guys already know what it is, man. Try to share some stories, experiences for the youngsters, reoffenders, that type of stuff, man. And as you can tell by the thumbnail, the good old uña, the caption, man. I don't like doing reactions, but it's a reaction to 16 in Life, to chill, eat chill. He did a video on his opinion on the dropout channels, PC channels, SNY channels, whatever anybody wants to call, I guess, dudes like me. So somebody sent me this link a few days ago, and I almost forgot to watch it because I really haven't been watching a lot of channels lately, just because I've been busy and I kind of unplugged for a while. But everybody and anybody that's watched my channel, they know that 16 in Life is a channel that I watch. Even though I haven't tapped in a little while, I always circulate and come back, and he's one of the channels that I watch. He has good stories, some funny stories. Maybe they weren't funny at the time when they happened, but in hindsight, it's like a lot of crazy shit that happens. It's fucking funny, you know, ironic, funny, and very, very real. Very, very real. And so one of the things that he said was having the intellect and being smart enough to know, to be able to discern whether somebody's being truthful, honest, straightforward or not. When I first came on YouTube, the very first thing that I said on one of my first channel, well, on my first channel, but on one of my first videos, actually the first video, I pretty much told everybody that I'm going to be starting a channel, and I told them to get down. You know, I dropped out. I went to the other side. You know, that's something that I embrace because, you know, the 15 years that I did in the state prison system, 13 and a half on the main line, nobody could ever take that away from me. Nobody could take that away from me. I don't care what the hell you call me. I care, call me a PC, a piece of shit, all that. Whatever you want to call me, I could care less. And like like Chill was saying, being a grown-ass man, dudes don't pay my bills. You don't pay my bills, so why should I care what the hell you say about me? You know, granted, I did get into some issues with dudes that were hating on me and things like that. And, you know, after attacking my family, that's when I got involved, after 8 months. But that being said, for the most part, my channel has always been, my videos have always been, well, I've had the intention to try to lace up youngsters by being real and raw about what I've been through, what I've done, so that they don't glamorize it, so that they don't try to do that shit, you know, because youngsters in the neighborhood, that's another thing that Cho said that resonated with me. Rules that were made by kids, you know what I'm saying? We watch movies like American Me and shit. If you're Hispanic, those dudes were young. The dudes that started the organization, the main one down south, they were kids. Youth Authority, you know? So that resonated a lot because it's the truth, you know, it's the truth. And at what point do you become a man? You know, that's the journey that I had. That's the journey that I had. You know, halfway through my term, I didn't believe in a lot of the hype. You know, when I joined my neighborhood, man, I was a little kid. I was a little kid, and I was from Logan. Like, that's what I believe. That's my neighborhood. That's my gang. Little did I know that the 13 that was attached to it had different connotations, had different rules and regulations that I had to follow. That being said, it's not an excuse. When I got to the county jail and all that, hey, my pride, like he said, a man's pride will put you in a lot of shit, but will also get you through a lot. You know, like I said, it could put you through a lot and it could get you through a lot. You know, a lot of dudes go to prison if they're weak. They don't have no pride. They ain't gonna make it very far. You know, but at the same time, with that pride, you're not doing what you're supposed to do, or, you know, you do too much within the segments of the rules, quote unquote, put it in work. That could extend your sentence. You know, my pride got me maxed out. You know, and one thing that I'm proud of, I could say, at the time it was devastating when I went to the other side. If they would have asked me 3 or 4 years before, like I said, for those of you that know my story, went to the other side I didn't want to catch life. They wanted me to take my celly out. If they would have asked me a handful of years before that, I would have done it happily. I still believe in that bullshit, and that's what it was. And I don't say bullshit to disrespect the cause or anything like that. Just to me, I had educated myself in the shoe and the whole, all those, my nature of putting in work and wanted to be the best that I could be for my hood, my gang. It's the very thing that led me to have an awakening. Like I've said before, a prisoner's awakening. I had that epiphany. I was sitting there in the hole, reading, educating myself, and I started learning about a whole world that I never really knew existed, you know? I guess in hindsight, on the peripheral, I knew it was there. The legitimate world, right? The business world, the career world, political world, whatever. Philosophical world, whatever you want to call it. That's the world that I started educating myself on, you know? And I had that awakening, and I looked around. That's when prison became prison to me. You know, I've said it before, for those of you that have been with me long enough on my last channel, prison wasn't prison to me. Prison was part of the plan. That was my career. I wanted to be in those cages. Sad to say. That's what I wanted to be. I had homeboys that were coming in and out of prison when I was a teenager and all that. That's what I aspired to be. That was part of the plan. When you get up there, boom, raise your hand, put in work, do your thing, earn your stripes, do all that shit. But like I said, when I made that transition from a young adult, young kid-minded dude to a man, to a wise man, that's when I looked around and I all of a sudden seen all those four concrete walls crushing me, you know? And it's not, I don't say crushing me in the sense where like I was stressed out, because thank God I knew how to do time by that point. I knew how to do time. It was part of the plan. But I was anxious and very, very, I had a lot of anticipation to getting out. At that point, I wanted to get out. I still had a date. I still went out to do my last stabbing and maybe in another battery on the AMA type shit, because it was part of the game. You know what I'm saying? I still had my other half loyal to my neighborhood, represent the neighborhood. I knew that the homies, my younger homeboys, my older homeboys, dudes of my generation that I rocked with, they would hear, you know, through the grapevine. Oh, where's Looney at? Okay, that's right. Was he easy in the shoe? That's right. Putting in work. Good shit. That type of shit. So I had that pressure, the pride. That's the pride. The pride of your legacy, your reputation, right? That made me hold on for a long time. And it's not like dudes that are already tired of putting in work, that don't believe in the system anymore. It's not like they're going to wake up with the type of lifestyle that we live. It's not like we're going to wake up one day like, you know what? I'm tired. I'm going to go to the side. I'm going to drop out. Nah, dudes like me, we have to be pushed into a corner, so to speak. And even then, it was hard to make that decision. You know, I thought about it for 3 days. And ultimately, I couldn't leave. I couldn't sacrifice my freedom anymore. Because I knew that once I made it out, there's a whole world out here. And just like Chill said, he finds these channels interesting. You know, he never went to the side. You know, like he says, to each their own. I respect it. And I respect dudes that happen to go to the side for certain reasons. Some reasons I don't respect. But that's their journey, like he said. And my point with that is that as I was on the main line still for years, little by little, as the SNY yard started blowing up, and I would see girls, even dudes, that would still mess with them cats. I used to be mad at first. I mean, why are you messing with this piece of shit? What the fuck? I used to be aggravated. But as the years passed, I gave up. I was like, man, the game ain't the same. This is watered down. I didn't say like, oh, one day I'm going to go to the side. Hell no. I was still going to stay on the main line. What the fuck? Hell no. I'm going to be proactive. That's what I told myself. I'm proactive. Leave all that shit behind. Get out there, take care of my daughter, and do all that good, normal life living that I never done. I had never had a license, I had ID, driver's license, nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't even have I never been to a DMV. You know, like, I've never done some regular life type shit. And I realized that I was still a kid as far as my journey, my experiences. Drawing blood, putting bullets into somebody, doing all that violent shit, the gang shit. I was a grown-ass man in that aspect. But as far as real life, I was still a kid. I haven't lived my life yet. You know? And so these are the things that led to my awakening. You know? And, you know, so I told myself, like, fuck that, man. I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get out. I'm going to do my thing, you know? That's part of being a man. You know, I've been out, I'm going on 5 years since I've been out. And for somebody that did almost 21 years combined in the system from the halls to the county to prison, that is not something that I take lightly. You know, I would never stay out more than a month, 2 weeks. I even got busted on the same day. The longest I stayed out was when I was on the run for my case from the marshals. And that was eight good months that God gave me, you know. So as far as Chill's reaction of people, he suggested that people should still watch these channels. Obviously, I'm not going to disagree with that. But even if I was active, I still was to the point where some of my homeboys that were real part of my neighborhood that checked in, that we were really disappointed of for checking in, going to the side, I was still, even if I was active, I was still gonna fuck with them. I was still gonna talk to him because I know that he went to the other side for political reasons or some shit that wasn't some piece of shit, you know? It's just like he said, you're not gonna fucking beat a whole organization that's already fucking chalked you up. It's not gonna happen, you know? And I know that some dudes are bitter about it. Me, I can't really say I was bitter about it. I was just heartbroken and disappointed because I let my brother down and I let some of my homeboys down that were still pushing, and we were some of the last ones left on the main line after a lot of the homies from our generation checked in. So I was holding on strong. But ultimately, I had to make that decision for myself, you know? And like I said, it's part of being a grown-ass man. You know, you got channels out here that will never admit they've been to the other side. You know, channels that you know, people watch. You know what I'm saying? Those of you that know who I'm talking about, you know who I'm talking about. There's a lot of channels out here that are dropouts that make up stories, and they're just on here for entertainment. You know, they take other people's stories and make it their own. For the life of me, I don't understand how somebody could live with themselves knowing that it's a lie. You know, I said that to say this. My experiences are 100% true. I honestly do not care who believes me or who doesn't believe me. I can't even think of one single person that's ever doubted one of my stories. Never. It's always just been like, oh, that fool's a dropout. Oh, that fool's a PC. They've never fucking questioned one of my stories. And that's why they probably hate me more, because they know my stories are true. You know what I'm saying? Even the dudes that are dropouts and making up lies on videos and making up stories, that's why motherfuckers hate motherfuckers like me. Real dudes, whether we're dropouts or not, because they know my stories are true. Even though the dudes that are active, that have active channels, are like, I wouldn't fuck with those fucking PC channels. That fucking fat motherfucker with tattoos over there down south that hates on fucking active channels. Hey, to each his own. But dudes like that have never been through the fire. I've been shot up, you know. I've been in a coma for days, you know. I've been shot up on my legs, my chest. Doesn't make me anybody. Doesn't make me cool. Doesn't make me any of that shit. You know what I'm saying? But they hate that some of the realest motherfuckers that are on YouTube happen to be the dudes that dropped out, you know? And like I said, I could care less. You don't pay my bills. You know, it was a good reaction video, Chill. I said mine. If it wasn't you, I would probably want to have done a reaction on this. Like I said, man, this dude has great stories. He's level-headed. I could tell I run into a lot of blacks like that, especially in the hole, that remind me of Chill. You know, they're grown-ass men. They know what they're talking about. And, you know, they could see through the bullshit. They could watch a channel and know whether the dude is telling the truth or not, instinctively. You know what I'm saying? Even in the little nuances that he was talking about, as far as the animosity or taking a shot. Or, you know, you could tell if somebody has an axe to grind. You know, it is what it is. You know, but for the most part, I wanted to make this reaction because I liked some of the things that he said. And, you know, taking care. Bottom line, taking care of your family and your kids is what matters. For those of you out there that are already doing it, been doing it, you already know this. I don't got to tell you this. If for those of you out there that are in the middle and still have animosity towards dropout channels or not, at the end of the day, them active dudes that are on YouTube, never really got tested. They never really went through the fire. They never really went through the fires, and they're out here. So it's easy for them to run their mouth. You know what I'm saying? A real dude, whether you dropped out or not, Even active dudes know that dudes that dropped out, we went through a lot of shit. And we put in a hell of a lot more work than any of these cats will ever do. And you know what? I'm glad that I don't have to worry about all that bullshit, because I don't believe in that put in work shit. I don't believe in none of that shit. That's little kid shit. You know, that's some dinosaur shit. You know, that shit, they're living in the past. They're still stuck in the past. But I can't blame some of them in prison, because they're in prison. They're never going to get out. They have to follow those rules. Their lives have to be controlled by somebody else. You know what I'm saying? One of the best things that happened to me, unbeknownst to me, is that when I went to the side, it was devastating because of everything that I gave up. My career and everything. But you know what? Once I got over the fucking that feeling, I felt such a relief not having to listen up to no man but myself. I didn't have to follow nobody's program. I followed my program. And the only person that I gave a fuck about was the person that was in my cell that wasn't a fucking weirdo. Period. You know what I'm saying? And another thing that dudes are always hated on is I've never told on anybody. That's why a lot of my active homies still fuck with me. Not that it matters. We talk once in a while because we knew each other from back then. It's not on some gangbanging shit. It's on some regular man shit. They're taking care of the family. And they know that when I went to the other side, I didn't tell on nobody. Yeah, it's sad to a certain extent that motherfuckers they won't fuck with somebody if they did that, but that's the truth. You know, my own brother told me that. The only reason I talked to you is because you didn't tell her. I don't care if you talk to me or not. But no, I didn't fuck anybody's life up. I didn't get no cells hit because I know how that shit feels. In my case, they told on me, you know. But that mentality, like I said, it's your pride. Like Chill said, it's your pride talking. And, you know, there's nothing there, man. There's nothing there. You know what I'm saying? And that's why when I came out, I told you, let's say once again, I didn't have no problem with anybody thinking that because I'm a dropout. You know, Chill said one thing before I leave you. At the beginning, he said that if he dropped out, Chill said that if he dropped out, he'd be too embarrassed to be on here showing your face on YouTube. I can understand why. That's the active mentality talking. And old habits are hard to break. You know, Chill is still active. I respect it. You know, but that was me before. You know, that was me. I would wholeheartedly be embarrassed. My own mentality, I would wholeheartedly be embarrassed to be on YouTube showing my face. You know, but that part of me matured and it grew up. You know, no disrespect to Chill, nobody. I'm just saying that's my opinion. But that's a mature man. That even though he has that perspective, he's still a grown-ass man taking care of his family, staying out. And like he said, once he got to board, he threw a lot of his paperwork away. Hey, I did the same shit. I only kept my essential paperwork in case anybody ever wanted to cross me up. Period. You know what I'm saying? But that being said, I would never be embarrassed to be on here. Why? Because I know what I've been through and nobody could take that from me. And what's most important to me now is that I'm a civilian and I'm trying to keep as much youngsters away from this type of lifestyle as I can. That's why I do this. That being said, one life saved is one life blessed. A smart man learns from his mistakes, but a wise man learns from other people's mistakes. Shout out to Chill, 16 in life. Everybody out there, you guys be good.